I don't emphasize enough how absolutely everything the book was. So I read this memoir, and the story of Alexandra Fuller's childhood in Zimbabwe. It was all over Africa, but Zimbabwe is where we set this film. The writing, so the actor part of me, the characters that she created, the way she wrote Bobo, and the way she describes her mother. So the actor part of me, it was like all the antennae were up and every light was going off. And I went, my God, these characters, that somebody could play these characters. And then the story, the way she tells the story, this very sweeping story of her life. So the book, the memoir, was everything. And that was the thing that there was no part of me that had sat as an actor thinking I could be a director. I only ever thought I could be an actor, but I fell so much in love with this story, her story, and these characters, that then I thought, let me option it. It was sort of, I can option it. I think I could see this as a film. And then I couldn't find a screenwriter. I thought, let me take a stab at it myself. I've read enough good scripts and bad scripts to know the difference really between what does a script need. And again, the book was just this absolute lavish feast of a place to go and gather everything that I needed. The vignettes and stories of her life, the character of her as a little girl who becomes the central character in the film, the stories of her mother and her mother's mental illness and suffering and belief that she had the claim to that land. It gave so much. So I then battled along, and I was really happy in the interview that I saw you guys did with Walter Sallis, where he said, well, it took about 7 years to perfect the script, because it took me about that long. And I thought, wow, I'm incredibly slow. But just the layering and the layering and the layering. And then I pulled things from the book, which is where most of it came from. But then there were things I had to sort of concentrate in one time and place, and I made it the war. At one point, I sort of told the story just as a third-person point of view, but then I made it from the child's point of view, because that gave me so much more freedom, particularly with the race stuff. I could say things that I couldn't say otherwise, because a child can say what they hear, and we sort of can accept it in a strange way. We don't accept it, but we hear it differently.
Right.